She Said Yes, the unlikely martyrdom of Cassie Bernall, tells the story of 17-year-old Cassie Bernall, who was tragically killed in the Columbine High School shooting on April 20th, 1999, alongside 12 of her classmates and a teacher. Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris opened fire on their peers, leaving a devastating toll of 13 lives lost. Written by Cassie's mother, Misty Bernall, the book was published on January 1, 2002, by Plough Publishing House. Misty, along with her husband Brad, lives in Littleton, Colorado. Misty's account focuses on that fateful day when two armed teens terrorized their school, killing as many people as they could. It's alleged that Eric Harris pointed a gun at Cassie and asked if she believed in God. When Cassie answered yes, he reportedly laughed before pulling the trigger. Cassie's final words made her an international symbol of martyrdom, but her story is far more complex and inspiring. 3 years prior, Cassie had been struggling deeply. She had once plotted to murder a teacher and even threatened suicide. Misty's memoir delves into Cassie's dramatic transformation and how she found redemption through faith and the love of her family. The book portrays a teenager navigating the challenges of growing up in suburban Colorado, facing the pressures and struggles many teens experience. But Cassie was once consumed by anger, hatred, and rage, feelings that could have led her down a darker path similar to that of her killer. Misty details how, through love and support, Cassie overcame these negative emotions. Cassie, once an outsider, had been drawn to the goth subculture, seeming distant from her peers. Misty shares the chilling discovery of letters in Cassie's room that revealed occult interests, graphic content, and a disturbing plot to help a friend kill a teacher. Some letters even contained advice from a friend telling Cassie to kill her own parents. Misty and Brad were horrified to learn about this secret life Cassie had been hiding, despite earlier signs of her struggle. The letters were so disturbing that the Bernalls felt compelled to contact Mona's mother, the sheriff, and their pastor, ultimately turning the letters over to the authorities. When they confronted Cassie, she was furious, accusing them of violating her privacy and declaring that they didn't love her. She threatened to run away and commit suicide. Yet Misty and Brad persisted, determined to help their daughter. Misty's even-handed portrayal captures Cassie's deep inner conflict, highlighting her journey from crisis to redemption, a story of struggle, growth, and ultimately courage. Cassie's parents remained steadfast in their efforts, meeting with Mona's parents at the sheriff's office and securing a restraining order to prevent Mona from contacting Cassie further, a move the sheriff supported. However, Mona's parents were hostile toward Misty and Brad, and Misty later learned that they had planned to take Cassie in if she ever ran away. The following months were difficult for the Bernalls. Cassie was removed from public school and enrolled in a private Christian school, and her parents imposed strict limits on her activities. They also moved to a smaller home, hoping it would distance Cassie from her old friends. At the new school, Cassie befriended a girl named Jamie. Initially, Misty was suspicious of Jamie, feeling she wasn't the kind of person who would have a positive influence on Cassie. Jamie's appearance, short bleached hair, oversized chains, and grungy clothes, reminded Misty of the very crowd she was trying to keep Cassie away from. However, Misty's judgment was off. Jamie invited Cassie to a church youth retreat, and it was there that Cassie experienced a pivotal change. When her parents picked her up afterward, Cassie told them she felt different. Although Misty was doubtful, Cassie was determined to prove it. In the months that followed, while she was still not perfect, Cassie seemed transformed. The drama and chaos of the past were gone, and though she still faced typical teenage struggles, things were much more peaceful at home. Later, Jamie confided to Misty that Cassie had once harbored violent fantasies and had been consumed with a desire to sell her soul to Satan. Misty felt vindicated by Jamie's revelation, as it reaffirmed the difficult choices she and Brad had made for Cassie's well-being. In the summer of 1999, the Bernalls allowed Cassie to transfer back to Columbine High School. By this time, Cassie was deeply involved in her youth group, and she had been moved by the group's studies on discipleship. The Cassie who faced her killer on that tragic day was far removed from the troubled girl she had once been. Despite the profound and tragic loss, The narrative of Cassie's martyrdom has faced criticism. Some claim that Misty wrote the book too soon after Cassie's death to have fully known the details of her daughter's last moments. Questions have also been raised about the authenticity of the conversation between Cassie and her killer. The account has been called a myth, and there was a dispute about the actual events that transpired in the school library where Cassie was found. Though Cassie was indeed murdered, the story of her martyrdom has been questioned for its inaccuracies. Over time, the focus of the story shifted away from Cassie herself and became a religious rallying cry. Despite the controversy, the martyr narrative endured. Misty's true intent was not to elevate Cassie to the status of a martyr, but to highlight the transformative power of God's grace. She wanted to show how Cassie's faith gave her the courage to face her killer with dignity and grace in her final moments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.